We're a podcast that talks about heavy music, and sometimes we can cover some heavy topics. So just a bit of a content warning for this episode.
Thanks for tuning in to episode 6 of the 2026 Hook, Riff and Banger podcast. I'm Dan and this is J-Rock. We had a wicked chat with Lochlan Watt, whose name I'm sure you already know. He's been involved in the heavy music scene for quite some time, and we had a bit of a deep dive into his experience there from, his...
A deep dive for sure. His world at Triple J on the radio, his history in bands, ska bands.
Yeah. His time with Destroy All Lines as well, which brings some pretty epic gigs to Australia.
Yeah, some pretty exciting things coming up as well. It was a really great chat. It was awesome to have him on the pod, and we could have easily talked all day.
Yeah, I think he's definitely influenced a lot of people. Maybe he's not aware entirely of how much so, but we've all taken a little bit from him in his time around.
Yeah. Super excited for all the things that are coming up. You'll really enjoy this episode.
Thanks for tuning in.
Red Bull on the way here.
No, Red Bull's classic. That's good.
I've had so much caffeine I forgot. It's a good day.
I kind of need Red Bulls these days. Like, it gets late. I had a work week and then I get to a gig and it's like 10 p.m. and I'm like, this is still the headliner and I'm all buzzed. I need the Red Bull to...
The 30 plus curse.
Yeah.
4 bands on a weeknight.
Yeah, I don't drink alcohol anymore, so I need caffeine more than ever.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah, me too.
Heavy dependence.
Yeah. It's hard to wean off it because you get the headaches and the shakes.
Yeah, even if I've had a coffee, like there's something in Monster that if I haven't had one, I'll start to feel fucked halfway through the day. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, can't be good.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, it's all right. We all have our things, right? You'd need it though. You're a busy guy. You've got lots on, including a podcast. Tell us a bit about what you do these days.
These days, I just do my podcast, which has been running for a little over a year, I think 13 months now. I'm full-time as a promoter at Destroy All Lines, and then I've got my band passion project thing run, which doesn't get as much attention as I would like it to these days, but pretty busy.
That's fair.
You've had a pretty long-running career, even though you're not a very old person. Radio, music, gigs. Tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, so I'm 38, and I guess I started working in music when I was 16, 17.
Yeah.
I guess it depends what you consider working. Like if it's like free CDs for writing reviews for a website, since I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, I don't know. I decided I wanted to be a music journalist and play music pretty early on. And just from playing in a local band in Brisbane all those years ago, kind of just sort of fell into booking shows and working for magazines and record labels. And it all just sort of happened real naturally. But being a promoter was like never like a goal. It just kind of was a thing that happened. And it turns out I think I was kind of good at it, and it just eventually snowballed. Like I had my own touring company record label thing like back in Brisbane, and got a loan to kind of get a business kind of going and made all the money back, and then slowly lost it all. And then after a few years of living in Melbourne, started doing tours again through this record distribution company that I was working for called Racket.
Mm-hmm.
And that fell apart post-pandemic, just kind of didn't really make sense in the business model for them anymore. And Destroy All Lines kind of just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ran into the boss, the owner at, I think it was Knocked Loose on their sideshow before Knotfest, and just told him what was going on with Rocket and my tours there. because like my first tour post-pandemic had lost like $5 or $6 or something. And they were like, what are we doing? This doesn't make sense. Like, we got to focus on the record distribution. And Ben, my boss, was like, oh, $5,000 loss is a great day in the office for us. Like, let's talk after Knotfest.
Oh, wow.
That's so different. Wow.
Yeah. I guess to you, or at the time, yeah, like $5,000 to anyone of a loss seems like a big thing. Like, it is a big thing. But then for them to be like, fuck yeah, that's great. All right.
I don't know if it's
not great, but
I
that's
think,
not a bad day.
He's a
You
very,
seem to be doing
very
things
sarcastic kind of guy. And I think, it's just in terms of some of the losses that the company has endured, it's pretty minor.
Yeah. And then that's kind of what forged the relationship.
Well, I've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
And known a lot of people at Destroyer Lines for a long time. Like, been friends with Stacey and Ash for years. And it just really sort of made sense.
Yep. How cool.
It was really organic.
When did you move from Brisbane to Melbourne?
I think it was 2014, start of 2014.
Yeah.
Like my record label touring thing, this DIY venue that I used to help run and live out up there, it had all kind of like fallen apart and gone to pieces, and I didn't have a band going, and because of Triple J, ABC being national, I could essentially work out of any city.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, time for a change.
Yep.
Send an email, can I jump on a desk down in Melbourne instead of Brisbane? And they're like, sure thing.
Yeah.
And then, moved down here, and don't think I'll ever move back.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm from here, grew up here. I think that Melbourne, especially with the music scene that we have, definitely a place where doing the kind of thing that you do makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think Brisbane's gotten a lot more vibrant, and there's a lot more venues and stuff going on up there than there was when I left, but I still think it's a pretty small place. And yeah, Melbourne is where it's at for sure.
So you identified that's where you wanted to go early on?
Yeah, I remember my first time I came down to Melbourne on a tour, I remember thinking like, fuck, if it ever goes to shit for me at home, like this is where I want to be.
Cool. Yeah, nice. That's pretty huge.
Yeah. I think that's a really cool thing to kind of figure out early on as well. Like not planning for things to go to shit, but I know where I'm going to be able to do the same thing with more opportunity, and it's just going to grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I really want to talk about like promotion stuff just to hear that sort of perspective, but I want to go back a little bit just to sort of understand where your love of music came from. And like, I would love to know, like, what were you listening to? Do you have any moments where, you heard something for the first time and I guess it changed your life?
I think the first music I was ever really obsessed with was the 1986 Transformers movie soundtrack.
Wow.
And I think through that, I loved metal before I knew what metal was. And I played that tape so many times, like the pirated VHS of that movie, that it broke. War of the Worlds, the musical, was probably like my other big thing. And cool. It maybe doesn't on the surface seem like it's that heavy of a thing, but there's a lot of really heavy electronic sort of stuff on that I think resonates with what I listen to these days still. And then my parents just wanted me to have the opportunity to learn music, because my mum was always like, wished that it was something that she had when she was a kid. And so I got put into piano lessons real young, and then I started playing trumpet in school and singing in the school choir and doing music in grade 11 and 12 and all through high school and playing in all the orchestras and stuff. And eventually just decided I wanted to teach myself drums, because I think I'd sort of started to gravitate towards more alternative music, and because I played trumpet, ska was kind of a bit of my gateway into like Area 7 and like Living End and Boss Tones and shit like that. And from there it just kind of started to get heavier, and
sweet.
Found my place pretty early on. Like I remember doing a presentation in I think either grade 11 or 12 music class about Every Time I Die.
Oh, amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah. I remember doing a project at school, and I listened to kind of quite alternative music in high school that went to raves and listened to all sorts of stuff, which was kind of like the gateway into heavy music, because so many heavy samples are used in electronic music, and without knowing it, I'm like, oh, I know that. I've heard that before. And I remember, writing a school project about a local DJ that I'd seen. And that's kind of where it started. So I can really appreciate, like, writing in school and kind of awkwardly not really knowing what you're talking about, but knowing that you have a passion for something really young, and then kind of growing from there. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think my parents were also not super stoked after pouring thousands of dollars into classical music stuff for me to then go, actually, I want to scream in a band. So I think that kind of gave me a bit of fuel to actually go, oh, no, fuck you, I'm going to make this a thing.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's really cool.
What was your first experience playing in a band that wasn't necessarily classical music?
I played trumpet in a band that this guy put together for like a high school talent quest thing. It was like called the Blues Brothers, and it was just like Blues Brothers worship.
Yes.
And I think we won the talent competition that year. And then maybe a couple of years after that, I started my first band, Western Decay. And it was just me and a friend that I'd met off like local Brisbane forums. We liked all the same shit. And I played drums on the demo and he played guitar, and like we wrote a few songs, and then I was like, well, who's going to sing on this? And I don't really have the money to get like a proper sick drum kit right now. So I decided to have a yell, and I was like, this is way easier and way more fun. Like, let's find a drummer.
Nice.
And then that band started gigging and did a few tours and things. And that was probably my, the real reason I sort of actually got involved in the local scene heavily. And so I met James Geeky from Ishua, who eventually was kind of the reason I had my first job as a promoter, because he was starting up Club Phoenix, which became Rosie's in Brisbane, with a couple of other guys after like our local venue, The Basement, got shut down, and there was no place in Brisbane for metal shows anymore. And he was like, I think this guy would be good to do the Thursday night hardcore shows. And it all kind of snowballed from there. And then my next band, it's called The Surrogate, and I played drums and did some vocals in that. And I was just obsessed with this band, Rosetta, at the time, and was like, I need to see this band. I want to go on tour with this band. How's that going to happen? Send them a message on MySpace, and they somehow trusted me enough to book some flights to Australia, and we did a little tour.
Wow.
And it's just all happened from there.
The origin story that has MySpace beginnings. I love that. Yeah.
I think a lot of people of our generation have
Yes.
MySpace origin stories.
Yes, definitely.
Simpler times.
Definitely. We all knew how to code. Back then.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Well, I do love those platforms because, that's how we discovered what each other were doing, and music that wasn't mainstream or commercial or anything like that. Things you wouldn't hear. Oh, bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back, I say.
Yeah. I remember you could have like your favorite track at the time on your page.
Yeah, the internet was definitely cooler when it wasn't all just like completely siloed into like 3-4 main
Different apps
tech
or
companies that
something.
control everything.
Yep.
Yeah, it was very different. It was very creative and
Yeah.
collaborative and fun.
Personalized.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring that back.
Bit more underground. You had to things found you and you found them, but it was still kind of organic. We weren't fed things on MySpace.
Yeah, and there was like 20 different forums that were active all the time for like every little different subgenre you'd want to go to, and of course that all comes with its own problems too, just these unregulated wild wests of the internet.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, better days in some regards, worse days in others.
That's true. That's true.
So when you reached out to this band that you wanted to see, to book flights for, what's the process behind that? Like, and I'm asking because I have no idea what
I
that
think
looks
I
like.
just sent them a paragraph about how much I loved their music, and this is what my band is and what it's about, and I'm a booker at this venue, and I work for this magazine, and we'll present the tour through the magazine, and I'd like to just book us an Australian tour, and you come out and play, and my band tags along, and somehow from there
It's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward, really. Kind of insane looking back on it.
Yeah.
Went and got a little loan from the bank to pay for everything, and yeah, made the money back, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then didn't do another one for years. And then tried it again with the same band, I think 4 or 5 years later, and yeah, we did it again. And then I did a few more off the back of that, and that's when the sort of money eventually ran out. Got too silly and ambitious with a few tours.
That's fair, yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, like the process of putting it all together, I mean, there's risks involved, obviously, as you know. What are some of the things that you have to really think about before you put a tour together? Like, what are some real
One of
deep
my
thoughts?
biggest pitfalls is just bands that are like having to come to the acceptance, I guess, that bands that I think are like the fucking shit, like not necessarily everyone else thinks the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just because something looks like it's big on the internet doesn't mean it's going to translate to ticket sales in Australia.
Yeah. Is that something you've noticed as a trend, I suppose?
Not necessarily a trend, just I guess
it's a
in the
shift.
modern era it's easy for record labels to juice algorithms and
Yeah.
like elevate their artists and stuff to like look like they are bigger than they are. But yeah.
Individual, case by case kind of.
Yeah, there's no hard and fast, I guess, rules behind any of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes bands that look like they've got nothing there comparatively will still be able to like come here, and for some reason they've connected through some other means and will do really well here.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Must be really hard to identify who falls into which category when maybe trying something new.
Yeah, when it's bands coming out for the first time, it's definitely can be a bit of a roll of the dice. But I guess when you get up to the more sort of professional kind of levels of it, when there's proper booking agents and management and stuff involved, it usually means that the band is doing well enough that they should do well here.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But not always.
You've been responsible for some pretty incredible shows that have happened already with Destroy All Lines,
Thank you.
and some really exciting ones that are coming up. What have been some of your favourite moments of some of the ones that you've been part of?
Guess it hasn't happened yet, but announcing that Deaf Heaven tour was pretty special for me. Like
Yeah, we're all pretty excited for that too.
my old business partner and I sent them an email in, I think, like 2011. I think before Sunbather had happened, it was Roads to Judah, just being like, we'd love to book you a tour out here. Yeah, I've been throwing my hat in the ring for that ever since. Booked them on Dark Mofo a couple of years in a row that like just fell apart because of COVID reasons before they eventually got to make it down for that. But it's fucking, I'm very excited to actually have booked them a full tour.
Yeah.
But then, like, I don't know what else has been cool. That Svalbard show at Howler was really sick, even though that tour, like, was one of those ones where I was like, had to learn, you know, the band wasn't as popular as I thought they might have been, but like that Melbourne show was fucking great. Everywhere else was a little bit. It's been some really cool shit.
That Svalbard one was really interesting. Because while that venue was, I guess, smaller than other venues, like it was still a really cool show, really great support, some local bands as well that we love. But yeah, like it's interesting to hear that they're not as big as maybe you expected, if that's the right term, considering they've been like on their like farewell tour, I guess, now for like 2 years, and it's like coming to a close now, which is a shame. But yeah, it was a really, really cool special night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all a learning experience. Like, my boss is basically like, well, as long as you're learning from it and you kind of learn to mitigate the risks and, yeah, get better at it as you go along. I think to be a great promoter, I think you need to endure some massive losses to really get a handle on things.
a beautiful attitude to have. I mean, yeah, I guess it is all learning, and you can't predict who's going to want tickets for what, and you're bringing out bands that people absolutely love. So you're doing something great. Yeah. And you are bringing out Health and Perturbator.
Yeah, this will be my fourth time bringing out Health,
I'm
I think.
so excited for that show.
I just
Together. My God.
amazed that they still keep just like getting bigger and just selling tickets over and over again.
Yeah.
But keep riding it.
Yeah.
So they're fucking amazing, and I
Yeah.
love working with them.
Yeah.
Health's just going to move here eventually. They're here so much. It's great.
I think that some of them would probably like to, the way that the States is going.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that show that was at the Northcote Theatre. Unbelievable in that venue. Absolutely
Can't wait to see them
incredible.
at the Forum.
Yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, the Forum is a natural next spot.
Yeah.
That's going to be crazy. I can't wait. Yeah. Really great shows.
Are there any other, I guess it's maybe too soon to say bucket list things because you've got Deaf Heaven coming up. But like, are there any shows that you really would like to book that maybe feels a little ambitious at the moment?
I really want to get Converge out here again. That's probably my next big sort of bucket list kind of band. Like if I can have a Converge tour on the books, I'd be like, okay, I can retire now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be sick. And on the other side of that, you were mentioning before, you know, there's bands that you may love that might not do so well because not everyone else loves them. Are there any bands like that you can name that you wish people could see the way you see?
Like the Greg Puciato solo tour was not a financial success, unfortunately. I just don't think as many people as I thought had really connected with his solo material. I think it's killer, but yeah, I would love to do that again if more people can connect with his next record one day.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Ocean and Cave In, that was another sort of tour like that where it was like, in my mind, these are like the biggest bands in the world and this lineup's so sick, like of course it's going to be a fucking smash hit everywhere, and the shows are still good, but it was like definitely like a decent chunk below what they needed to be.
Wow, that's surprising. I'm really surprised.
Yeah.
Because I was there and excellent. Like,
Yeah, like
The two shows
but
in
always
Melbourne too.
Melbourne is always better than everywhere else.
fair, yeah.
Yeah.
And a tour of that scale when you've got like 3 international bands on the road, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that was a huge, like I went to both of the Ocean shows, and yeah, just like the supports for that. Internationals across the board from all over the place. Like, yeah, I felt like, you know, winning the jackpot, going to see all these bands
Yeah,
at
man.
once.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible shows.
But like you take away different lessons from all of those experiences. I think with the Greg Puciato tour, it was like learning to just not say yes just because like you've worshipped this musician for 20 years. A little bit similar with The Ocean, but also like really just, I got to really learn how to like put on a show with like proper huge production and lights and stuff. That was the first time I'd ever really booked a tour that had more than just, you know, the house lights kind of setup. The Ocean had their full lighting and smoke show and shit, and having like a truck on the road with like backline and production for 3 bands was something I hadn't done before,
Yeah.
as opposed to just hiring locally. And yeah, all incremental steps to get to where I am now. And I think one of my friends, Nigel from Mindsnare, works for Live Nation, books tours through them. I think he told me once that like the minute that you think you've got it figured out, like you fucked up.
Yeah. So don't.
Something to that effect. Like just once if you think you've got this touring shit figured out, you're about to get smashed.
It's a great lesson. It applies to lots of things in life.
I agree. Yeah, like sitting in that comfort is not a comfortable place to sit.
Yeah, it's like it's always changing.
You're always
You've
flying
gotta
by
be
the seat of your pants.
constantly on your feet and not getting set in your ways.
Yeah. Do you think you've taken that as pretty sound advice?
Yeah, I think so. Try not to get too confident.
Yeah.
It's always better to be surprised when something goes like better than you expected, I think.
Yeah. And I think in a role like that, you kind of have to live with the thought of this could be a challenge, this could be a risk, but we've just got to go for it because I believe in it enough. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was having actual nightmares about the Deaf Heaven tour for like weeks up before the announce, just because it was like such a huge undertaking again with that many international bands and the amount of money that the headliner is getting. It was just like felt kind of, I guess, subconsciously really nauseous about it. I was just having recurring nightmares about things going wrong and people not buying tickets and just like disasters on the road and shit. And then it went on sale and I was like, this is going to be fine. People want this.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the moment, like the sigh of relief is when tickets are live and you start to see what people are doing.
It can be if it's really good out the gate.
Yeah.
But then other tours, not so much. Some tours you just need to really ride until it's, done. Like I think start of 2024, I had Cavalera Conspiracy and I also had Blind Girls and Frail Body. And both of those tours were like overlapping, like happening at the same time. And the Cavalera Conspiracy tour, like I had to put some of the least, I guess, like comparatively far less work into that. Like it kind of sold itself. It ran itself. But then the Blind Girls Frail Body tour, I really had to put a lot into to get it over the line. And the Cavalera Conspiracy tour like made a ton of money, and then the Blind Girls tour like made a little bit, not a lot, but like made some profit. And it was like, that was nice. But just like comparing the two side by side and the amount of work involved in each was pretty eye opening.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also while happening simultaneously. So you can chill out in one regard, but then you're kind of stressed. So it's never really a balanced feeling. Wow. And you still love what you do.
Most of the time, yeah. It's I think like anything, you do it for long enough and it just becomes a job.
Yeah.
But I always have to just remind myself of those sort of moments that I have when like a tour is happening and you're watching like an amazing band with like a full house of people that are all having as good a time as you, and you just like reflect on like, man, like I was listening to this shit like 20 years ago, or this guy's band like back in the day and now he's here doing this with something else, or just like there's little cool moments where you're just like, I made this happen and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They sort of really put it into perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really answered my question before I asked, because like it must be a little humbling because music does mean a lot to like us and I guess people who attend these shows. And it's just a really interesting thing about being a human, how big music is and what it does and how you feel and reflect on it. And thank you for your nightmare, sleepless nights and all that stuff, because you bring a lot of joy to people by bringing these bands here. And it's a pretty big deal, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, slight tangent here, but I like over the last couple of weeks, I think I'd been feeling a little bit down about the podcast. Like, I think the episode I just released a couple of weeks back didn't really do the numbers that I sort of thought it probably should, and just kind of like felt real sad about it and like got in my own head heaps and like, what am I doing? Wasting my time. No one gives a shit. Like I'm a fucking loser, like broke idiot. What have I done to myself? And then I actually got out of the house and went to a couple of gigs and was approached by like multiple strangers that I had no idea who they were. Would like be like, hey man, just wanted to say really love the podcast and thank you for introducing me to this band and that band or whatever. And I was like, that got me out of that morass, and I was like, oh cool, like that's right. This is actually sick, and it does matter to some people.
Yeah.
It's not tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Oh, there's definitely a feeling that I resonate with, and I don't know if you do as well, but it's, we've been putting a lot of effort into this podcast for a long time.
Yeah.
What feels like a long time.
How many years has it been?
Been doing this for
Is it nearly 3?
nearly 2? Nearly 3?
I think like 3 September.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
It's a brutal grind, isn't it?
yeah, and you still got to show up, and we do this is our passion project, much like exactly like yours is, and we try our best to get people on that we love and make it engaging for people that are listening. And yeah, there's been days where we've both shown up or separately shown up where you're just having a shit one, or you don't really feel yourself, or you have that imposter syndrome of like, what am I doing? But yeah, when you get those beautiful moments of feedback, you're like, oh, fuck yeah, that's right. We are doing this for the collective same reason. And going to gigs is, we were talking about this earlier before you got here, you know, how going to gigs and like chatting to people is just such an important thing, and like the humanness of it all.
Yeah, I live out like an hour out of town these days, and especially now that I don't drink, I just don't go to as many shows as I used to. So I've been trying to make a little bit more of an effort
Yeah.
to get out of the house and go to more shows, because you do get that sort of feedback, and it does help build a lot of things.
I think seeing community as well is really important. Yeah, like on days where I'm like, I can't be fucked going out, but then you go to the Toad or the Bendy or the Old Bar and you're like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I know half a dozen people. They're all going to say hi and we'll all chat to each other. And that person I always see in a band, and then you're like, oh, that's right. It doesn't matter. I'm getting yelled at by a guy on stage or a band on stage, you know, making a noise, and it feels good.
Yeah. I think I definitely like resonate with what you're saying. And I think it's just pushing yourself to go to these events, and it really just breaks you out of it. Like a lot of the time, not every time, but most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. And I think especially these days where, you know, the world is weird, there's a lot of disconnect. It's just one of those things you, again, put yourself in the spot where you're listening to the music you love with the people who have a lot in common with you and love the same thing. And yeah, it's quite eye-opening a lot of the time.
I think because we all listen to very out there music, you know, to put it in some very vague way, you know, we're not listening to the most popular thing or the top 40 or whatever. Like, we're going out there and listening to pretty obscure and extreme shit. So to know that there's a bunch of us that love it too, yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Feels good.
So how long is it that you've been doing your podcast? Because you're up to like 42 episodes now? Yeah.
13 months.
It's cool. Yeah.
I think when I first left Triple J, I was so over it, and I was just like, I think I'm just going to take like 6 months to a year off doing any sort of forms of music media and just focus on my job and the band. And eventually I'll figure out if I still want to do something with that sort of part of my life. But then once the name for the pod and the idea of what I wanted to do with it kind of just landed in my head, like a few weeks later, I was like, all right, it's happening. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I think I got like a month off doing music media stuff before I was learning how to do video editing and researching all the gear I needed to buy and stuff and getting it off the ground.
6 months off, I think, in any form of the music industry doesn't really exist. So good luck, good on you for having a month off. I think that's pretty good of a sit down.
Yeah.
Now that you brought it up, you were at Triple J
Yes.
13, 14 years?
13 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The Racket.
Indeed.
Yeah. How did you get started on radio? I mean, I know you were already working in music journalism, but how did that start going?
I'd never done radio before outside of, going in for a couple of interviews at like 4ZZZ or something. But I was also like, I'd gone back to uni so I dropped out of uni originally because I ended up working full-time for a magazine and working for a venue and just had 2 bands touring, and I was just like, well, this is what I wanted out of life, so fuck this, and I bailed on uni. And then a couple of years down the track, like all those bands had fallen apart, like the magazine had gone bust, like I wasn't working for the venue anymore. I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to go back to uni, and was doing like creative writing and music production stuff. And then the job at Triple J came up, and I think I'd also just started getting back into booking shows around then. And I think I just applied for it because I was like, I have all the knowledge for this gig and every industry connection required to be good at this gig. It's the only thing I don't really have is like the radio experience. And I just filled out the form on the website and went through the different rounds of interviews. And one day I was in Sydney for something completely different, and emailed them saying like, hey, I'm actually in Sydney at the moment if you wanted to maybe meet face to face. And I went and had a meeting with Triple J management at the station in Ultimo, and I remember Chris Scadden, like the old head of Triple J or whatever the role is called. He said, "So one of the things you're going to have to do," and I was, and he sort of caught himself and went, "If you get this job is," and I was like, "I've got it, fuck."
That little slip of the tongue.
Yeah, and I guess got a call like a week later, telling me that I had it, and went from there.
What have been some of the memorable moments from 13 years of running your own show?
Way too many.
Yeah. Narrow it down if you can.
Yeah, I guess maybe I'll try and think of like a top three or something. I think my first couple of shows we pre-recorded, and I had a producer working with me in the Brisbane studio, and my first show, like, I fumbled the back announce real bad. I can't remember what, but I said something completely incorrectly, and Sarah, who was producing me, was like, "It's all right, just start again, we'll edit that out." So I started again. She never edited it out, and that went to air like that on my first show.
With the fumble?
With the big fumble.
Wow.
And I was just like,
Bruh.
fuck. Like, I remember my partner at the time and my old housemate were sitting out in the living room or whatever, listening to it, and I'm like curled up in a ball in my bedroom, like, just, I don't want to hear this at all.
Yeah.
And I sort of heard that happen and was just like, kill me.
Yeah. Do you think, was that deliberate?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it was an accident.
No, she genuinely just
Oh, no.
forgot to go back and cut that out.
Yeah. Do you think that horror of hearing yourself with the fumble that you thought was going to be edited out has then helped you in future?
Oh, I just hated hearing myself full stop. Like, it took me years of like have regular air checks to get comfortable listening to my own voice. And I never liked pre-recording. Mm-hmm. And I found that kind of a challenging part for me about doing the podcast, because I sort of tried to kind of just freestyle my intros at first. But like, just like pre-recording with the radio, if I didn't say it perfectly, I'd be like, okay, do it again, cut it. Mm-hmm. It took me a while to kind of figure out how to do that with my podcast stuff.
Yeah. Much similar to our very perfect and seamless intros that we are so good at. And
One take every time.
One take every time. No editing.
Every time.
But yeah, I guess I got a couple of other fun or interesting radio stories. Well, a few really. I'm just trying to think which one's the best. There was one night I was on tour and I was broadcasting out of Sydney, and I think I was being a little bit lazy and decided to end the show with I think it's a 25-minute song, just to kind of...
How long was your show?
3 hours back then. Eventually became 2, but yeah, back then it was 3. And it's Metallica is the name of the song, by Black Sheep Wall, off I think their second record, or maybe it's their third. Yeah, I'm Going to Kill Myself. Mm-hmm. And it's just the most brutally fucking punishing, like, sludge core kind of song that just goes on and just has this insane wailing hypnotic thing with the singer just losing his mind screaming, "I'm going to kill myself," over and over again. But anyway, there was a regular presenter doing like the graveyard shift after me at 1 o'clock in the morning, and they came in I think before midnight and said g'day and started sort of getting set up, but the show finished at 1, and then they went to go outside to go to the toilet, like out past the security door, and turns out they hadn't had their pass activated for after hours access, so at midnight it locked them out of the building. And the Racket ends with just like the "I'm going to kill myself" repeating and gets to 1 a.m. and there's no one in this next studio that's supposed to go to air after me. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then so then there's like 30 seconds of just dead air, and people are on the text line freaking out, being like, "Are you okay, man? Like, what's going on?"
Whoa.
And then this presenter just like comes running in like sweaty and fucked up, like freaking out, and like after like 45 seconds of dead air, hits the button on like the whoa, Triple J, blah 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 blah. And so he had to like run down to the front desk security and get his pass fixed up and come back in, and yeah, that was pretty funny.
Wow.
My God. Song choice versus 1 a.m. lockout versus everything.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's
that
one
is
of my favorite
incredible.
stories.
That's so
The
cool.
text line would have been, yeah.
That would have been a really good last show, like to leave it.
Yeah.
On the air like
See
that.
yous.
Yeah.
I think I did tell the story on one of my last shows, but I didn't play that specific song because didn't want to waste like a quarter of one of my last shows on that. But yeah, another funny story. One time I interviewed Serge from System of a Down when they did those.
Oh, sick.
A few years back, they did those couple of songs to like raise money, something about the Armenian genocide. Mm-hmm. And I interviewed him for that and just let him sort of say his piece. And it all just went to air, and there was an article up there and stuff. And then the Turkish embassy got involved because I wasn't a responsible both sides ABC reporter about it. And I'd just like let one side tell the story without the other side saying, hang on, we're not the bad guys, you know?
Wow.
There's nothing to kind of temper.
Is that because you're represented by the ABC?
Yeah, it's because it's the ABC.
Oh, wow.
And I was in sort of violation of ABC
That's interesting.
stuff with that, which I guess maybe Triple J doesn't pay as close attention to, especially not with a program like mine.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And yeah, we had to take the stream of the episode down and like edit the article and all this kind of stuff. And it was a big thing behind the scenes.
Wow.
And that was kind of crazy to me that like a foreign embassy was getting involved in my radio show.
Yeah. It's kind of a big deal. Wow.
Yeah, damn. I don't even know what to say to that.
I know. Because, you think about radio. I mean, two of the stories that you've just told of, I played a 25-minute song that was just, the vocalist just saying, I'm going to kill myself. You've got these really extreme moments happening, extreme music, extreme content, whatever. And then you've got, an interview with a musician that we all love. And you're seemingly just interviewing a musician we all love about their project that's very deep to them and a cause that's very important to them. Yet, because of the connection with the ABC, then the ABC gets involved.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
One more really sort of interesting story that I think ties into a couple of things you just said, and then I'll leave it at 4 maybe. But you know how on Triple J they call out like the lifeline number and stuff?
Yeah.
That never used to happen. And a bit of a bum out of a story, I suppose, but I was inadvertently responsible for that. I think my old cat died a few years back, and I was just like trying to get out of coming to work. Like I'm really depressed. Like I don't think I'm up for broadcasting right now. And the station manager at the time was like, no, come on, mate. The show's got to go on. You'll be right. And he convinced me to just man up and come in and do the show or whatever. And I was talking about the cat on air, and someone was texting in about how their cat was like the only reason that they felt bad about what they were about to do or something like that. And I'm reading these texts out, and it didn't really click with me until someone else texted in about like, this person's talking about killing themselves, man.
Yeah.
And
oh God.
So my show finishes at 1 o'clock in the morning or something, and I'm just trying to call this person off the text line and getting nothing. And I had a bit of a mental breakdown over it, and then it turned into a thing with management because I was really mad about not being taken seriously and being sort of coerced into coming into work when I was in that state. And I guess the end result of that was Triple J gives a suicide hotline now.
Yeah, wow.
I have no idea what ended up actually happening with that person or not. It could have just, it could have been just whatever, who knows.
Yeah, and that's
But
unregulated text lines and whatever else. Like that's a lot for you to deal with as a human and as a presenter. But then also, to have that kind of, oh, come on, you just do the show. Yeah, we all need to take mental
I wish
health
I had,
really
I
seriously.
had another funny story to kind of follow that up with now.
Yeah. Sorry for the loss of your cat.
Yeah, we love our furry animal
Yeah,
friends.
we do. But 13 years is a really long time, and having such an impact on, you know, everyone that listens to this music that we all love, and bringing out these bands and touring and playing your music yourself. Your band's great, Run are great.
Thank you.
Your involvement definitely is really impactful to this scene, and we're really grateful that you do everything that you do. Speaking of Run, I know that you said you're not very active at the moment, not doing as much as you would like to at the moment. What is the future looking like for that? Any shows, any recordings coming up?
We're going to Necrosonic.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing that in August. And nothing else booked show-wise, but got like 5 out of 8 songs finished for an album.
Nice.
So there's a couple of intro, outro, interlude things coming together for like going to be like I think a 10 or 11 track record. I've got this massive concept kind of planned out for it, and should be getting Paul Siddell from The Ocean, who did session drums on the last 2-track thing we did.
Yeah.
I think we'll be flying him out in December, hopefully, to track drums for the record. And because Run kind of started as, I guess, a bit of basically my solo project, even though it was like a pretty pure collaboration to begin with. And then it sort of accidentally became a band. And then I think that formation of it sort of fell apart because I was still really treating it like my solo project. But I'm working with like maybe 4 or 5 different guitarists on writing songs for this one. And I'm like, this song needs to be like this, like, and here's my ideas for it. And we kind of go back and forth with notes and demos and things. And I really, really enjoy the process of it all.
Do you have the guitarist in mind when you're thinking of these pieces? Like, this is for this person, this is with this person? Or do you just
I guess
work
a little
with
bit like
people
I sort of mapped out the concept, and
Yeah.
this is going to be this kind of style of song and this style of song, and then
Yeah.
got my 4 or 5 mates who are on board to be writing stuff for it. I'm like, I think you'd be the best one
Yeah.
for this one.
Yeah. That's really cool that the
Yeah.
project's kind of ever evolving within itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a bit of I guess a project managed collective more than just a traditional band, I
Yeah.
suppose.
I like that concept. That's really cool.
But yeah, I'm really excited about the record, but until that's done, I'm not really too bothered about playing shows. Like if cool stuff comes up, sure, but I'm not going to be out there seeking anything
Yeah.
for Run for a while.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it when it happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And you've got a lot happening already, like just with your podcast and
Yeah.
your job, you know, like bringing other bands to us, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were saying before, you know, things about bands might look big due to like algorithms and also might be a little deceptive, maybe not intentionally, but what are some things you can suggest, or maybe your thoughts on what a band can do these days, aside from releasing decent, good music, but what would make a band stand out?
I guess it sort of depends if you're coming from the angle of like what's going to make a band stand out to me personally, or a band stand out to like the wider industry or wider world of music fans.
I guess to the industry, right? Because that's where tours happen. I think it's easy to say, like, you know, everyone has their own flavor of things that resonate with them, but
Yeah.
I guess to an industry, what makes a band stand out? As someone that people want to book, that they can assume people want to see.
Yeah. Unfortunately, just streaming stats and number go up, typical kind of capitalist indications, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think bands that have a unique kind of image these days seem to be able to get a little bit of a head start sometimes. But I swear if another masked band comes out, we've got enough.
Anonymous masked band.
Yeah.
It's not going to work again.
Yeah.
Sleep Token only happens once, sorry.
Yeah. Sleep Token, Kiss,
So got Slipknot in the middle.
Slipknot. Yeah.
Oh man, better band with only masks, no music. That's the next.
Yeah.
Step. Yeah.
It's just
Silence.
masks. Yeah. Masks and then unmasked is just different masks. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like with AI and everything, I like to think that organicness and kind of authenticity is eventually going to really shine through a lot more in the ultra slick sort of modern world where you can't really tell what's real or not half the time anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But that could just be a naive hope. I guess
Definitely
we
share
shall
it.
see.
I share it.
Exactly the conversation we were all having in here before you got here. We're having a very warm debate about, the future.
Yeah, hate to be a doomer, but also I'm a bit of a doomer. It is a little bit hard to have hope sometimes lately.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, as you said, at the end of the day, like good songs and shit that I've never heard before is kind of like, for me personally, like bands that are doing something completely fresh, I think are harder and harder to come by.
Yeah.
And when I do come by them, I get really fucking excited.
Yeah.
Definitely understand. Like it's, I've been listening to heavy music for most of my life now, and I wouldn't say I get bored of the bands, but there's a lot of music coming out
There's more music than there's ever been.
for sure. And then when someone does something really different, really even obscure, a little experimental, that's when I get really excited because it's like, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
And yeah, going back to the doom and gloom, I do hope that, in the world that we're in now and the future we're moving towards, I hope there'll be a lot of value in a live scene, that actual physical experience that you share with people. Because I'm definitely a little nervous about what's happening. AI music, all this stuff, it's just...
Yeah, I get really, I guess, hung up on a little bit about what the future of the live music economy is going to look like as, our generation sort of starts to age out a little bit more because the younger generations just aren't drinking like our generation did. And live music is just, in so many ways, just built around an alcohol economy. And yeah, you see a lot of venues shutting down these days, which I don't think would be happening if there was tons of young kids coming through and drinking, and I just don't really think they are. So I'm just curious to see how the industry adapts to that in the long term.
Yeah. And what kind of, I guess, reinventing the wheel, but yeah, what kind of pivots are going to have to happen? Because, we spoke to Shane and Leanne from The Last Chance, and, them in a lot of their videos that they've talked about, is come in, just go to a gig, even if the gig's free, and just buy a pint or, a $10 pint or whatever, or a soft drink or whatever. It's just about, like, that's how they make their money as a venue, is over the bar. And yeah, you definitely see this decline in boozing and having a drink and just turning up to gigs, and the gigs are happening. Just got to get to the gigs. Just get in there.
Yeah.
Buy a pint of soft drink. Do what you've got to do.
I'm on the buying pints of soft drink trip these days.
Me too.
Just even if I'm not thirsty or there's water there, I'll just
Yep.
buy one just to make sure I'm giving the venue something.
Chuck in. Yeah, the same. And I think get it. You go to a free show and you kind of that obligation. You're like, I'm going to buy 2 pints of Coke, and I don't care if I feel crook after. Yeah, it's making every little effort that you can and just showing up to venues and doing whatever you have to. There's so many free shows on if you are a bit skint, but then also, buying your ticket to the gig and then figuring it out. There's worse things to be spending your money on.
The young sort of hardcore scene seems to really be figuring it out. Like obviously the crowd doesn't drink anywhere near as much as like a traditional kind of metal crowd.
Yeah.
But they're thriving with lots of all ages shows and stuff, and obviously they're figuring out different ways to sort of make it all viable. Yeah, very, very curious to see how it all evolves.
Yeah.
Well, it gives me some hope though, like that there's something working in this environment because because there's just so much. There's so many good things all the time to the point where there's clashing gigs. You know, like even on a Thursday night, there's like, damn, there's two really good gigs that I'd love to go to. I can only go to one of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes you try to go to both of them.
Unless you're Poodle and you can go to every show at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. We need to figure out what he's doing.
Yeah.
Don't know how that man still does it.
So consistently.
Yeah.
Every night, almost every night of the week. 2 shows a night.
Yep. There has to be multiple.
It is funny. Like, you know, for years and years and years, you just see the haze of a crowd kind of, you know, fade away and you're like,
There's
oh,
one
fuck,
massive
there he is.
dreadlock.
There he is. You get knocked by something really heavy. You're like, what's that? It's like, oh, it's just Poodle's single dread. Yeah. It can be done. Go to gigs.
Yeah. That's it.
Because, yeah, that's the biggest thing that we're all pushing is we love going to see gigs. We love live music, and especially the scene here in Melbourne and keeping it rolling. So that's why we do what we do. People need to go to gigs. Speaking of gigs, is there anything, I know you've got so much cool shit coming up, but is there anything in particular that you are really excited about that's coming up? Anything that everyone listening should go and attend?
The Deaf Heaven tour is hitting in July, first week of July. I think it'll be right after this comes out. And Psychroptic and Rivers of Nile co-headline is happening in August. Psychroptic announced their new album. Well, it will be announced by the time this comes out.
Cool.
So it's their album launch tour.
Amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, very cool.
I think I will have announced a To the Grave tour with No Cure supporting by the time this comes out. If not, it'll be announced within days of this dropping.
If not, we'll just edit it out.
And then Health and Perturbator and King Yosef in September. And a bunch more stuff I've got up my sleeve for 2027 that hasn't been announced yet.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, very cool.
Even with no indication of what you're saying, I'm so excited.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. We can listen to your podcast. How do we listen to that?
musicismylife.show is the website, or just search Music Is My Life on YouTube, Spotify, whatever podcatcher you've got. It's out there.
Yeah. Fortnightly episodes. Exciting.
A lot. It's cool.
Yeah. Big effort for one person, but well done.
Yeah. My Mondays are usually just podcast day.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. Is that filming and editing, or how much of it are you doing?
So I will try and get started on like the editing a few days before that, but then Monday is usually my crunch time where it's like, okay, now I got to put it all the pieces together and film the intro and do the little bits and pieces on Photoshop and get the uploads done and have it come out on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's impressive what you're doing. That's really cool. And it's enjoyable, and good luck with everything. I'm looking forward to see more.
Yeah. And new run
will be early
eventually.
2027 at some point.
Yeah.
It's all happening.
Yeah. Non-stop. I thought we were busy people. Lochlan, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, my pleasure.
podcast.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
All the best with the pod moving forward.
Thank you.
And congrats on your new radio show.
Thank you. I'm still recovering from the sleep cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. 12 till 2 a.m. Get home, can't sleep because I'm so wired. But yeah, it's exciting. It's incredible. And yeah, you were an encouraging part of that without knowing it, without doing anything. Because when your retirement from Triple J came up, I was like, I'm going to give that shit a go. Applied. They were like, thanks, but no thanks. You know, obviously not the right exact fit, but it was enough encouragement for me to be like,
I can do this.
fucking give this a crack.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm glad you
legend.
went and found somewhere to put that, because I do remember seeing your application thinking like this is good. But
Did you see my application? Really?
yeah, like I was involved.
Wow.
They had me involved in the whole process.
Yeah. Wow. There you go.
Yeah.
I think writing it all down and being like, oh, fuck, actually, maybe I do have something that I can do one day. Yeah, that was enough of an encouragement for me. So
Yeah.
somehow, cheers, thanks. Community radio, man.
Yeah.
Rocks.
Very cool.
Podcasts rock. Yay.